evening from Tokyo, Japan, and good morning to most of the attendees here. Welcome to ExaWizard's earnings call for the third quarter of the fiscal year ending March 22, which ended December 31st, 2021. This is Koichi Kawai, Senior Manager of the President's Office of ExaWizards. With me on the call today are Ko Ishiyama, Representative Director and President, and Tomoki Moriya, Senior Manager of Corporate Planning Department, and Hikaru Koyama, Head of IR Department. After the market closed today in Japan time, we issued a press release with details regarding our third quarter results, as well as supplemental data sheets and FAQs to our results, both of which can be accessed on the IR section of our official website. Please note that this meeting is also being recorded and will be posted on our IR website at a later date. During today's call, we will make statements relating to our business that may be considered forward-looking. These statements reflect our views only as of today and should not be considered representative of our views in any subsequent date. We disclaim any obligation to update any forward-looking statement or outlook. With that, I would like to introduce today's schedule. Today, Mr. Ishiyama and I will begin by explaining the financial results for about 30 minutes, followed by the presentation material. After the presentation, we will have a Q&A session until 11 p.m. Japan time. In terms of the operation for the Q&A session, if you have any questions, please use the raise your hand function in Zoom to let us know. We will then appoint you and unmute you. Please let us know your name and organization and ask your question. Please limit your question up to 3 per person. Finally, at times in our prepared comments and response to your questions, we may discuss metrics that are incremental to our usual presentation to give greater insights into dynamics of our business or our quarterly results. Please be advised that we may or may not continue to provide this additional detail in the future. With that, let me turn the call over to Mr. Ishiyama for his prepared remarks. Mr. Ishiyama?
Okay, so thank you very much for joining us today. I'm Ko Ishiyama, CEO of ExaWizards. First of all, I'd like to explain the executive summary for the third quarter of this fiscal year. Here's a summary of financial performance. In terms of quarter 3 results, cumulative sales for the third quarter were 3.28 billion yen, up 109.9% year-on-year. Operating loss for the third quarter was minus 0.2 billion yen, approaching break-even as sales grew. In terms of AI platform segment, sales continue to grow at 2.86 billion yen in the first half of the third quarter, up 112.1% year-on-year. In the first 3 quarters, the ratio of long-term clients was 69.2%, and the operating profit margin was 14%, maintaining high profitability while investing in new use cases. Progress was also made in accumulating knowledge for the deployment to the other companies, including the introduction of machine learning ops at Yamato Transport and the other companies. And in terms of AI product segment, cumulative sales for the third quarter were 420 million yen, up 96.0% year-on-year. In addition to the growth of existing products, continue to expand products based on the knowledge accumulated by the AI platform, including the digital transformation assessment for new graduate recruitment. And finally, in terms of full year earnings forecast, sales are 69.4% of the full year forecast of 4.73 billion yen. Given that sales tend to be concentrated in the fourth quarter due to business practices, the company is on track to meet its full year forecasts, and there is no change at this time. No change in operating income forecast at this time also, and we expect operating income to be positive in the fourth quarter despite further acceleration of investments to expand the workforce. Then I'll pass to Mr. Kawai for the summary of financial results of the third quarter of this fiscal year.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ishiyama. I will now explain the consolidated total sales. On the left are the 3 months of the third quarter, and on the right are the 9 months of the total cumulative figure. Total sales for the 3 months on the third quarter increased by 94% year-on-year, and the cumulative total sales from the first quarter to third quarter increased by 110% year-on-year, and both sales figure, followed by the huge demand from large clients, continue to grow strongly. Next, I will explain the consolidated operating income. The left side of the page shows the 3 months of the third quarter, and the right side shows the cumulative total from first quarter to third quarter. Operating income for the third quarter was loss of 28 million yen, and for the cumulative total is a loss of 357 million yen. Although we post an operating loss, as you can see from the result for the 3 months on the left, the deficit is steadily shrinking. And this page shows the entire consolidated profit and loss statement. We've already mentioned our sales growth earlier, but let me touch upon our gross profit, and its growth rate for 3 months of the third quarter was up 98.8% year-on-year, and cumulative growth for the 3 quarters was up 103.8% year-on-year. Both of them continue to grow strongly. And there was nothing special to highlight below operating income in the current fiscal year. And this is a consolidated balance sheet. At the end of this quarter, the main factors of change are the increase in cash due to public offering held in December, and decrease in debt due to repayment of the short-term loans. Then we would like to continue with an explanation on overview and progress of the business segments. I would like to hand this over to Mr. Ishiyama for his presentation.
Okay, so thank you, Kawai-san. Let me go through the overview and progress of our business segments. Okay, next please. Okay, so first of all, our mission is solving social issues through artificial intelligence for future generations. In my previous job, I was the head of AI lab at Recruit Holdings. So just as Recruit has been very successful, not only in R&D, but also in business, I'd like to make a big impact on our customers. That's why this is our mission. And our business segment is 2 business segments, AI platform business and AI product business. Through these 2 businesses, dataset and reusable AI algorithms are accumulated. We have contracts with clients in which all intellectual property belongs to Exabyte. This is the strength of our AI business. And 87% of our revenue comes from the AI platform business and 14% from the AI product business. AI platform business solves the big enterprise CXO's business agenda by using our AI platform Exabyte. Then we are finding generic issues and developing AI SaaS products. That is the AI product business. And nowadays, the AI platform business is growing very fast. As I have explained, the AI platform segment is already highly profitable. Now we are investing our AI platform Exabyte and AI products. So let me briefly introduce the AI platform business and the Exabyte. Let's start at the bottom. Over 300 enterprises and CXOs are using Exabyte. And we also have 50 in-house professional consultants. These strategic consultants consult CXO's business agenda. The agenda is big impact for the company and very high ROI for them. Recently, there is a big project for several $1 million over several years, and our consultants are organizing more than 250 projects per year. And let's look at the middle part. We have over 130 patents. These patents are the proprietary technologies. This is the first reason for our high gross profit margin. And we also have more than 190 AI engineers, and they have developed a highly reusable platform for similar use cases. The engineer does not need to be running from the second project. This is the second reason for our high gross profit margin. And let's look at the top part. This is the reason why our AI platform business is a recurring business. D4V is designed for ventures, and one of our shareholders, and they have a strategic partnership with design consulting firm IDEO, and IDEO and ExaWizards are building a design team with together, so we can provide not only AI but also user interface, and our customer will continue to use that user interface. So it is a recurring business. And we also acquired a machine learning ops company named Xpair last April, and we are adding machine learning ops features to Exabase. It allows for integration into existing customer systems and optimization of retraining of AI. So it is also a recurring business. And this is the progressive action for scalable growth and linked to headcount of our AI platform business. The left side is the business that we achieved in the past. It was the accumulation phase. We conducted 250 AI projects per year, and all of these intellectual property belongs to ExaWizards. For the past 5 years, we have been accumulating various algorithms in Exabase. As for the middle part, we currently have a hybrid business model. The model consists of license model based on accumulated existing algorithms and FT model to create new use cases. Now our model is becoming automation phase. And in the future, as written on the right side, we will maximize the extent to which machine learning can be automated, and we will provide non-code based Exabase. This is a maximization phase. We'd like to move to the details and key financial results of AI platform business. So, Mr. Kawai, please explain about that.
Thank you, Ishiyama-san. And before jumping into our financial results, let us touch upon our key differentiating factor with other players like consulting firms, system integrators, and other AI startups as well. This shows that we're providing all-in-one AI solution development process for the clients. And as mentioned earlier in the presentation by Mr. Ishiyama, we have an enormous business issues and AI professionals along with existing CXO network in Japan. That's our core strengths are that we have a data and knowledge base that is accumulated over the years. And we're capable to identify the issues that Japanese corporate may not notice by themselves and patch them into our AI base and implement it to their day-to-day works for the efficient outcomes. As you see on the bottom, there are no single players who are capable to manage those issues all at once. If the company works with consulting firms, what they will see is likely a PowerPoint slide with KPI on it. If the company tries to implement it into that reality, BPOs or SIers focus on sending labors on site rather than focusing on KPIs to tackle. But we are in the position to manage the issue effectively by providing full stack AI solution to the clients. And this is one of the most important pages with our credential. We are already providing real AI platform into various industries CXO's core issues and making return to them. Although I will not mention every detail of what we're doing with specific clients, as you see, all of the issues we are working on has huge impact to their businesses. And like Aflac's case, 1% increase in insurance premium will affect $130 million, or on Yamato's case on the right-hand side, 1% saving in operating costs will make them approximately $100 million per year. Since ROI impact and unit return for the client is large, the retention tends to be high, and as our algorithm accuracy increases over time, it becomes harder for clients to replace us, and we can charge them higher in the long run. And the message here is that none of the Japanese corporate ever applied AI-driven judgment for their efficiency and improvement. Over the next 5 to 10 years, we'll be able to implement those AI-driven judgment with our Exabase platform, so the single company's various divisions and CXOs will make important decisions based on AI's predictive analysis and support. And here's some of the example on how we may grow further. Left slide being expansion with a single client, which we are already making some credential with many large enterprise already. And key is that once we have better understanding to the clients, we are often able to work for additional business area that they would like to utilize their data with our AI implementation. And right side being our next theme of expanding the same use case within broader industry players. Since we are founded in 2016, we've been paying special attention to protect our IPs and algorithms. So we have a contract with large enterprise on eco-fooding policy with all IPs belong to us without non-compete policy. In most cases, raw data remains with clients, but tuned data or parameters for various use cases will remain at ExaWizards so that we can maximize our LTV horizontally and vertically and expand effectively. One of the main characteristics of our company is that we are developing in multiple sectors, which is making us multi-sector. To explain this, for example, Alibaba in China started out as an e-commerce company and then grew into payments and lending by expanding its data horizontally. And data is disruptive and it can be used while moving from one sector to the other. For example, we have accumulated lots of useful data in the field of nursing care, so we can propose design for dementia insurance to the insurance industry. Or for pharmaceutical company, we can provide disease prediction based on analysis of data of working video for the prevention of frail, and develop an application for disease awareness. In this way, the strength of multi-sector business is to increase revenue while making good use of the effect of crossover. As the number of sectors increases, the number of crossover will also increase. So we believe that we can further develop our strengths in the mid to long term. It is also important to note that our company is not only multi-sector, but also multimodal technology as we are growing horizontally. For example, in the case of one enterprise hiring selection analysis for new grads, we analyze the image of 5 minutes video of interview. And if there's a resume, we also analyze this as structured data. The content of the interview is converted into text data from speech to text, which is then processed by natural language processing. Only by working in multimodal manner and combining multiple algorithms for multiple data types can we provide high judgment accuracy. This multimodal tech approach is one of the strengths of ExaWizards. We assume that we are the only multimodal, multi-sector AI company in Japan, and believe that the way we create our business is different from other companies. We have applied for 138 patents and have been granted 68 patents already. And we already have a large number of patent libraries as well. That being said, I will now explain the total sales for the AI platform business. The left side shows the 3 months of the third quarter, and the right side shows cumulative total for 9 months. Total sales for the third quarter increased by 96%, and cumulative total increased by 112%, maintaining high growth in both periods. And this is operating income for the AI platform segment. Operating income for the 3 months ended December 31st, 2021 increased by 30%, and cumulative total increased by 104%. The operating income margin for the third quarter was 17% for the first 3 months and 14% for year to date. In the third quarter of the previous fiscal year, the profit margin was high as a result of our efforts to control expenditure to a certain extent amidst of the spread of the COVID disaster. And going forward, we will aim to improve profit margin over the medium to long term. And next, I would like to also mention on our long-term clients contract in the AI platform business. We define long-term clients as those who have been working with us for consecutive 4 quarters and more. In the current quarter, sales to long-term clients accounted for 69% of total sales, and both the amount and percentage of sales were very strong compared to the same period last year. However, as we want to further grow our top line, we are willing to work on new use cases. By doing so, we can raise the barrier to entry through the acquisition of new IPs and expand the scope of reusability with new components. As a result, we expect to see steady increase in both long-term clients and new business. But in the meanwhile, by doing so, we expect that the percentage of revenue from long-term clients could fluctuate because of new business, but our goal is to win in the long run. Now I will pass this presentation back to Mr. Ishiyama for the overview and progress of our AI products business.
Okay, now I want to explain our AI product business. Now Japan is facing super aging society, and the problems of the super aging society are increasing social security costs and decreasing number of laborers. The total addressable market is very large when these problems are solved. So we are developing the AI products for this market. And here's 2 typical AI products. The left side is EXA-based digital transformation assessment and learning. I used to be the deputy director of the government's AI human resource development project. Then we understood that large Japanese enterprise companies do not know how many digital talents they have. So we made assessment product, and now more than 350 enterprise companies are the user of this assessment tool. And the right side is AI SaaS product for nursing care house. Once caregiver says, Mr. Ishiyama ate all of his breakfast, then AI will do the speech recognition, and the data will be automatically registered in his care record. In Japan, the government is currently promoting scientific nursing care, and we are working with the government to develop this product. We also hold a patent for speech recognition in the field of nursing care. So the major care record service providers have started the sales agreement with us. They are becoming the agency of our AI SaaS products. Okay, so now I will pass to Mr. Kawai again.
Okay, thank you, Ishiyama-san. So I will now explain the sales of the AI product business. On the left are the 3 months of our third quarter, and on the right is the 9 months of the total. And total sales for the third quarter increased by 82%, and for the cumulative total, they increased by 96%. The main reason for sales growth is the growth of our DX AI products, but social AI products are also starting up as well. And let me touch upon our synergy for 2 products first. There's a great synergy between our AI products business and AI platform business. For example, there's a pattern where a client uses DX AI products for the HR assessment service, and after a certain level of training for DX has been achieved, the next step is convert the client into client of the AI platform business in order to actually solve the CXO's big issue and agenda. On the other hand, there are times when we can sell our products to clients who are also using our AI platform. For example, we have a partnership with Paso, one of the largest staffing companies in Japan, and they sell our assessment products to SMBs as a distributor effectively as well. In addition, there are synergies between our nursing care products as well. On the right is Hanasuto, which means just by talking for nursing facilities. And on the left is a Toruto, which means just by taking movie for home care. For Toruto, we've established joint venture with Yamashita, which has the largest market share for welfare beds for home care. And by making appropriate secondary use of data obtained from home care and nursing facilities, we will be able to create synergy between the AI platform business. In the AI platform business, we have insurance companies and pharmaceutical companies as our existing important clients. So we can expect a synergy that is able to create business that makes good use of our data and customer contact point by adding another layer of revenue to SaaS application. And this is the operating loss for the AI products business. The AI products business as a whole continue to post an operating loss as it is investment phase to achieve top line growth for the future. Lastly, I would like to touch upon forecast for our consolidated financial result for the fiscal year ending March 31, 2022.
Okay, the forecasts of consolidated financial results for this fiscal year have not changed from the forecast announced on last year. For sales, now our progress rate is 69%. Last year, the rate was just 60% at the third quarter. So we are making progress in sales ahead of last year. And we also expect operating income to be positive in the next quarter, despite further acceleration of investment to expand the workforce. Okay, next page, please. So this is the last slide. For our growth strategy, the most important thing is to enhance Exabase, as I explained as a part of 3 steps progressive action of Exabase. In the short to mid-term, Exabase and AI platform business is very important, and then AI products will also drive growth in the mid to long term. Thank you very much. That's all for the presentation.